to edit the self-study proposal. So if you go to our self-study SharePoint site, and hopefully you're able to get into this. If you can't, please let me know, but hopefully that will work. But once you're in here, like I said, if you don't get all this, if you'll click up on the top left-hand corner on this little 9 square thingy and then click SharePoint, it very well may bring it up for you, at least to this point where you can click on Self-Study 220 and get to it. If you ever get here, bookmark it. I've got a bookmark set so it comes straight to here, and I think it'll save you a lot of headache down the road. Now, once you're in here, you can either go to Documents over here on the left, or you can click on the Self-Study 220 Self-Study here, and then you can click on the actual self-study itself. This opens up a online version of Word with the self-study in it. And you can actually edit in here. Now the formatting doesn't look right. For example, the formatting on the actual document doesn't have this big space in that down there. So the formatting may not be the same, but you can click inside any one of these boxes and actually edit. See how I'm typing there? You can actually edit inside one of these boxes. If I scroll down to say the history of the institution, the very bottom here, I'm going to change this to the 27th in anticipation of Dr. Pramanik meeting with us, and then I am going to save that. And basically, I say I'm going to save it. I don't need to save it because it automatically saves it when you're in this online version. So I'm going to go back to SharePoint. All right. I'm going to go into the self-study again. And here I am. I'm going to click on the self-study folder. I'm going to click on the self-study document. Here is the document coming up again. Anytime now, it's going to be showing on the screen, I hope. Here it is. It's taking its ever-loving time, isn't it? I'm going to show you also how you can go into your Microsoft Word on your desktop and do the same thing. So I'm hoping that that will work for us here in a few minutes once this comes up. This is not cooperating. I'm going to close that out and try that again to see if I can get it to come up a little quicker. It's not cooperating. Well, I already showed you how to do it there. Let's open up your Microsoft Office on your Microsoft Word on your desktop to see if we can get this to work here. Now, you've got to make sure you're signed in using the same email. It's my college email. But again, you can have a personal account and a work account with your college email. So you've got to make sure you're in the right one. Once you do that, if you click on Open, you should see this. Don't worry about this down here. You should see this right here, Sites. Sites. If you click on Sites, then this 220 over the Self-Study 220 will show up. You click on that. Documents will show up. You click on that. Here's the folder. Click on that, and I'm going to click on this Self-Study. Double click. And I'm going to open it up. It wants to sync with my Word with OneDrive. I'm not sure why. Now this looks more like it ought to look. The formatting wasn't quite right on the online version. Here's what it ought to look like. And I can scroll down here and I can go to the history of the institution and look right here. The edit I made in the online version is here. It's May 27th. All right. And so I can scroll to my area, which starts with 1.1, and I can start editing. Now you only are able to edit in these boxes. You cannot edit up here. If I click up here, I cannot edit. I'm clicking. I see the cursor, but I'm hitting the keyboard. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening here. But if I click down here, then I can actually edit. See, I can put things in there. I experimented with this a while ago, and Miss Gaynor and I both had the same document up. I was looking in the spot that she was typing, and as she was typing, things were appearing. Is that weird or what? It's weird. So you can see I'm working on this area. Everything that's not highlighted I've changed. If you haven't looked at the other video or had me tell you, let me scroll down to section 1.2. Here's section 1.2. This area that's highlighted is from the self-study in 2016, and back in those days it was standard 1.4, and I had typed in for standard 1.4. Here's the standard: the institution's board approves and periodically reviews the institution's faith statement. I had written in the following: the biblical foundation statement of faith, and I don't know why I have them both, it should just be statement of faith, is signed by all board members, directors yearly in the spring meeting. I could go ahead and leave that just like it is. It wouldn't be a bad idea if I had a actual minutes that showed motion, second, and carried, that they approved the statement of faith on a regular basis also. If I could find anywhere they actually have approved it, then that would even be that much more of a help. But I can show some documents where they sign it. Then my exhibit would be the Southeastern Board of Director agenda is what I used last time from 2016. I could show the agenda. I got that this is on the agenda on multiple times since then. Then I could show the actual form that they sign. I could even show copies of where some of the board directors have signed it. And I don't need to put all of them in there. I mean, that would be 12 of these for the last 3 years. I don't need to put all 36 of them in there. I could put just a few of them. But once I did this, if I like this statement up here, if I really like that, and I think what I'm going to do is take it and just make it the statement of faith, the college, and we're using college kind of capitalized to mean our college. The college statement of faith, I think, is going to be fine. Is signed by all members of the board of directors in the spring meeting. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the highlighting off of it, and so I think that's kind of okay. And I could, if I wanted to, here put question mark, question mark, question mark, approved by the board, question mark. See, that gives me a little note for me to check myself. Do I want to put that in there? Can I find minutes that would help me? Then I'm not going to take this highlighting off yet. When I do, I will delete this 1.4 because that's where it came from before. Then I would put some agendas in there from previous board meetings. And then I might put the actual doctrinal agreement form. And once I put that in, I take the highlighting off if that's what I had. Once I had what I want down there, I take the highlighting off, and that helps me. Okay, so I'm going to undo that, put that 1.4 back in there. I kind of like this up here, except for this right here. So I might highlight that to make sure I realize I still have a question up here. See what I'm doing? Now, once I do this, notice up here at the top left, it says autosave on. And if you pull this off out of the SharePoint site, this is going to be on up here. It should be on here. All I have to do is close this. I'm just going to close this. I just hit close. I do not have to save it. All I have to do is close it. It's syncing it automatically. And once that's synced, then it's saved here. I don't know if it's going to let me pull it up here. A while ago, it didn't let me pull it up here. If it did, I could pull it up and you would see the corrections I just made. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's going to let me do that. I'm going to scroll down to my area, and I'm going to go to 1.2, and here it is, 1.2. There's the statement I just changed, and there's the little addition I added in with the highlighting. All that's there, and I could do something here, and it would save it there. So you can do it on here, but really it's better to do it on your Word on your computer. So this is how we will edit the self-study.